to remain scatheless. Eluded with that first serve, and Mungala with that hit from the B-Quick. The Kusin from the right will get a check, and that's a point for Adamson. Hitting as if he is really unafraid of anything right in front of him. So if he winds up that good, that's going to be a scary problem. But of course, it starts with a good first ball, challenging the defenders of FEU. They're going to Ndumgala, and that is the connection that Kakao and Ndumgala have.
If the middle blocker gets that first pass, he can still confidently set that ball to them. Another hit out for Dukusin.
How about Adamson? So far, we're seeing everything all on scoring. Only one fault. Espartero getting that off the cross court. Serves now for FEU. Picked up there. They go up to Dukusin. Dukusin gets that with a block from Lyric Mendoza. Dula on the serve. Picked up by Andrew. They go up to Garces. Ariel was there. Miko will try. Cross court. Very sharp. Ball still alive. They go up to the opposite side. That's picked up by Adamson. Domingo chooses Dukusin. The denial coming from Espartero.
That's a second kill block.
Dula continues to serve here. Picked up by Andrew. They go up to a dunk from Domingo.
Quick point.
Ever so popular donut hole, as everyone would mention. Visorio with that serve. Kakao going up to between from the back row. That's a point for the sophomore. Saavedra will now serve. Oh, solid serve. They go up to Tahiludin on the other side. They go for a quick. Mendoza pushes. That push from Dukusin. Saavedra. Oh, what a cannon. The up to a running attack. Garces will push that in. That's going to be a point for Adamson. And got subbed out. That serve coming from Garces. Oh, what a hit from Saavedra from the back row. That converts to a point for FEU.
That's the first half of set number 1.
Espartero with that serve. That's going to sail out.
They couldn't put that ball away on that push.
Kinulang lang ng konti. Domingo going for that quick to Congimbal, but that is too low.
He can also contribute in terms of offense.
He's a 41st best scorer in the league so far. Domingo. They're trying to call for reaching beyond there. Dumgala. Good instincts there coming from Dula. That serve coming from Kakao. They go up to the left pin. Domingo will choose the right pin this one. Dukusin tries. Congimbal being active up front.
Against the league leader, FEU. Tamaraws have started strong in the past few seasons in the preliminary round.
They've always started with a clean record at start. It's really a question of who tries to snatch a win off their hands as Dukusin will push this one. He's denied, and Espartero succeeds to getting that one. Serve coming from between. They go up to Garces. Chance ball, Adamson. Let's see what Domingo will do. He goes up to Dukusin off the block.
Ooh, great stretch.
Benny was getting that one. Espartero off speed. That push coming from Saavedra. Domingo will shoot this one to the B, and Garces gets the point. Oxon squad with a 6-point deficit, trying to play catch up. Dumgala in that combination. Played a good fake, but Saavedra does the finish. And it's well distributed. The match against NU is a testament to that, as Tahiludin will try from the back row. He covers himself. Chance ball, FEU. Ariel Kakao goes up to the opposite side to Dick Saavedra, but ball is still alive on the side of Adamson. They go up to Espartero, who finishes the kill.
Defense of Adamson, they're having a hard time in establishing their net defense.
We haven't seen it in this set so far. We're looking for it, but Gay will hit it from the back row. Saavedra, FEU just in system here. Besoya off speed, but a strong return coming from Derek Mendoza. Jump serve from Besorio. Cacao goes up to the back row. Amit between. Easily converting that, even from the pipe. The Tamaraws, they have 3 service faults already, but everything else has been very, very clean, just like that hit. Really mastering this combination is FEU as Espartero serves that one. Popped up by Adamson. They go up to Andrew Tahiludin, but the blocking party continues for Derek Mendoza. Picking this because this is their only Waterloo so far in this game. Everything else has been very clean. Look at that. Saavedra kill. Tahiludin to serve. Picked up by Espartero. Let's see what FE will do. They go up to Espartero. Receive mo, palo mo.
Amit Bituin.
Showcase of athleticism for Espartero. That serve coming from Cacao. They're at set point moments. Let's see what Dukusin will do. He's denied by the double block of FEU. Serve coming from Cacao. Set up. Going to the back row. Adamson trying to give FEU a taste of their own medicine with those back. Serve coming from Cacao. Set up. Going to the back row. Adamson trying to give FEU a taste of their own medicine with those back row kills. Serve coming from between. Domingo going up to Dukusin. Dukusin. Coming from Domingo.
He's
really overstretching.
Trying his best to deliver the best sets given the C passes that we're seeing.
He's trying to also find which attacker will be hot at the moment. Coming from Domingo.
He's
really overstretching.
Trying his best to deliver the best sets given the C passes that we're seeing.
He's trying to also find which attacker will be hot. Serve now will be coming from Obeda. Dungala, easy on the conversion and an 8-quick.
Nobody even jumped from Adamson, which is ironic because, again, they are the best blocking team, but they're confused with the playmaking of Ariel Cacao.
And you also have to consider Dungala has a 50%. Jump serve, still tough. Popped up by Tahiludin. That push coming from Domingo. Really challenging moments here with the first ball for Adamson. FEU really challenging him. Domingo goes for the back row. Dukusin gets a touch. They'll score Adamson. FEU really challenging him. Domingo goes for the back row. Dukusin gets a touch.
They'll score off that back row attack once again.
Now in front of the net. This is the number 1 and the number 3 best blocking team. That push coming from Obeda is denied by Amit Bitwin. That is a welcome.
They really have to consider the hang time of the blockers of FEU. So if they are going to go for those soft touches, kailangan medyo mas mataas pa ng konti to get past that wall.
James Dukusin getting that last point. But as we look at this replay, Dukusin just tooling the blockers as requested by Coach Rafi in the previous timeout. You know what's also puzzling to me? Every year that I watch FEU, Cacao to serve. Picked up there by Besorio. They go up to Tahiludin. Tahiludin finds the line there as Tahiludin serves for the squad from Hoxo. Picked up there by Espartero. Good pass. Cross court for Dick Saavedra.
There was also a net fault called on the Falcons.
Good serves for the squad from Hoxo. Picked up there by Espartero. Good pass. Cross court for Dick Saavedra.
There was also a net fault called. Nilapit niya Santana so that the outside hitters can also have that option to go for line or to go for a hit out.
And that's why we're
Inilalapit niya Santana so that the outside hitters can also have that option to go for line or to go for a hit out.
And that's why we're starting to see a better play here from Adamson. But Dula Donggala, really confusing for the blockers of Adamson. Tooling the block there was Besorio. Jibs Dukusin with that serve that is going out. Point FEU. This is also something that's going to be crucial for Adamson. They can't give moments to FEU because FEU knows how to pull away. Earlier they pulled away. Saavedra serves. Pick up by Quadra. Domingo, bump set. That push is denied.
So hindi nalalayo yung scoring ng FEU.
Espartero still trying to find his first point here in the set. That is going to be a point for Adamson. We're starting to see a more aggressive,
ng FEU.
Espartero still trying to find his first point here in the set. That is going to be a point for Adamson. We're starting to see a more aggressive Soaring Falcons here in the second set. As we look at that again, West Garces. But Domingo really, West Garces, Domingo chooses Dukusin. He's denied, and that touches the floor. Of course, our friend Zihir Basho.
We miss you here.
But she's been doing a great job as here as that's going to be a point for Adamson. Back to a 4-point deficit for the boys in blue. Between adjust, popped up there by Costello. Ariel Cacao now serves. Strongest front line for FEU, a full front line at that. Domingo going further quick. Opeda gets a point. Front line for FEU, a full front line at that. Domingo going further quick. Opeda gets a point.
This is what they've been.
Andrew with that serve. Picked up there by Espartero. They go up to between of the blockers, and Ahmed converts. Back to a 4-point lead for FEU.
Point number 8.
Picked up there by FEU. They go to quick to the Gala. You know, anywhere Cacao sets the ball, he has the calling card.
Everyone is a threat from the Tamaraws, but there are certain points na alam ni Ariel Caja kung kanino siya dapat pumunta. And that is Jake Saavedra.
Between goes up to Espartero. Sorry, cut you off there, partner. Dukusin pushes this one. Oh, this is what you've been mentioning.
Options in the back row in Saavedra and Bituin. Then you still have Miko Espartero from the left.
And at that rate, you know, that was just Miko's first point, yet they're already at the 20-point mark.
So that can be their game plan para lang mabuksan yung net defense ng FEU.
Just to find a seam. And speaking of opening things up, let's open, well, especially at the latter part of the set. Saavedra from the back row. They go up to Flestado, but he's denied there by Between and Mendoza. Mendoza getting ahead of the match. They're down by 2. Picked up there by Ceballos. They go up to a quick to Donggala. Gay will dump this. Donggala was there for the block. Oh! Tahiludin denied by Dula. The match ready. They look game ready already this early. Sun point moments. Coach Shafi, simple reminders is this is not an impossible feat this early. Sun point moments. Coach Shafi, simple reminders is this is not an impossible feat. Malapit lang yan. As the Dukusin will push that one. And true enough, they get 1 point. They're just 3 points away from extending the sets.
That's the change of pace.
Performing for themselves and for each other. Donggala will open things up, but that's going to be a point for Adamson.
This is what yun yung minimum number para sa ating Final Four.
But it's never the same every year because the complexion of...
Yun yung minimum number para sa ating Final Four.
But it's never the same every year because the complexion of that has been the running joke last season. As we go back to our ball game, Menor is injected here to try to help score some points, but FEU gets a freebie.
Coach Rafi is trying his best to figure out rotation or starting unit for Adamson.
But I mean, look at the game of FEU in that last set alone. 2 free points, only 2 points that they've given up to Adamson. What a performance for the Tamaraws in that set. That's almost perfect volleyball. That is going to be a point for Menor. That's why he's injected the
First point for Menor.
So look at that again. Joel Menor. Meanwhile, FEU just has a parade of top scorers, leading the charges between with 9. But 8 points for Dungala, Mendoza, and Saavedra as we appreciate that one. Nico Esparza. Meanwhile, FEU just has a parade of top scorers, leading the charges between with 9. But 8 points for Dungala. There should be a name for that as Menor gets that one through the blockers.
Second point for Menor. Adamson is hoping to grab a set against FEU.
Well, that's not impossible. FEU has just lost a set in the season so far. Adamson might be able to... FEU has just lost a set in the season so far. Adamson might be able to be the second team to snatch a net from them.
In their last game, he even attacked from the back row. So may version pa yan ng pipe attack. Another back row hit for Adamson.
FEU is to keep it clean from the service line. Ball with that serve. They go up to Mendoza. Saavedra from the right. Cacao goes up to Saavedra again. This time. Mendoza to serve. Picked up there by Menor. Off speed from Prestado. Domingo with that coverage going up to Menor, and that works.
That everybody is willing to contribute. Starting unit, second stringers, doesn't matter. And I would say that Adamson is also in their rebuilding program. Madaming rookies, but just looking at the talent pool of the squad.
Soaring Falcons. We mentioned earlier the grassroots program that they've already established in the juniors program. A push coming from Menor from the back row. Mendoza, or rather between from the left. Saavedra setting up Mendoza. That checks in for Lyric. It's the 7th deadlock. Right there with that first ball. They go up to Saavedra. Off the blockers was Drix. It's the 7th deadlock. Right there with that first. You know, a point is a point. They need everything that they could get at this point as they're trying to extend this match. Saavedra off the blockers. Of course, possibly snatch their second win as Saavedra gets that one through.
One thing's for sure, when it comes to closing sets, closing games, it has always been Drix Saavedra for the Tamaraws.
He's been a staple name for...
In this game, we've seen a lot of crazy games in the UAAP. Yesterday, we saw a reverse sweep. We've seen a lot of crazy games in the UAAP. Yesterday, we saw a reverse sweep in the women's division.
Yes, you covered that game.
NU and UP
has minimized their errors to 3 in this set alone. So it's a very tight matchup here at the third set. Ceballos with the first ball. They go up to Bitwin, who gets a cleaner hit this time. Minimize their errors to 3 in this set alone. So it's a very tight matchup here at the third set. It's a tight ball game, tied at 15.
This is the closest they've been. Multiple deadlocks here in set number 3. They continue to target the middle blocker of FEU.
That's good. That was the 11th deadlock in this ball game, but so far for FEU, this is just another named office getting another win because they've been winning 3 straight games already. They've had their toughest opponent orchestrating and taking charge and control of this FEU squad. Let's look at what Adamson will do. Obedo will try that push coming from Dongala. Domingo pushes it out to Flestado. They go to Gutierrez. He is denied there by FEU.
Coverage was there.
Orchestrating and taking charge and control of this FEU squad. Let's look at what Adamson will do. Obedo will try that push coming from Dongala. Domingo pushes it out to Flestado. They go to Gutierrez. He is their game. As Cacao serves this one up. That's picked up by Andrew. They go up to Flestado.
3 points to Adamson in the 3 sets that we've played so far.
From the service line, they've given a total of 6 in this game so far. But imagine that serve coming from Adamson, over received. That push coming from Obeda. That's going to be out. Let's see if they'll be able to continue their run here. Talking about the Falcons. Cacao going up to a one-handed set. That's a miscue for the Falcons as they are just 3 points away from closing this out. Adamson is just 3 points away from catching up. Make that 2, which is quite unusual. That is a 5-0 run for the Falcons. Serve coming from the Soria, sails out. That stops the run of Adamson.
He changed his start here.
Let's see what Adamson will do. Obeda will serve. That is going to check in. That is a missed call from Vinny, but let's see. They're going to challenge this. Was in or out? That is out. So that's it. FEU wins this game in 3 straight sets to the delight of the FEU bench.